Welcome to Authentic with Brazil 201. I'm your host, Brazil 201. And on today's episode, we're going to talk about The Boys Season 5, Episodes 1 and 2. And we're going to go full into spoilers because there's no way to really talk about any of these fucking shows without talking about the spoilers. And if you're listening to this, it's because you want to hear the spoilers and what I think about it. So that's how we're going to do. And it's interesting because between this and Daredevil, and both um both of these, their newest seasons, were written and shot before Trump's second win. Okay. Daredevil, as both are having their own versions of what we assume Trump's mass deportation efforts would look like and the internment camps and whatever. Very different, very similar. I think what is it to say? Daredevil's internment camps and the anti-vigilante task force is more what Trump's mass deportation police force looks like or did look like at till like the Minnesota situation. The Boys, though, it seems to be where I think we may eventually be headed towards. And look, I love The Boys. I think the first two episodes are fantastic. I love the new dichotomy of what America is. Don't you understand? Crime is gone in America with not well, Homelander isn't actually president, but he's basically president. And Ashley, the hot redhead, is vice president in official title of the president of the United States now. This is where we are. 1 year since the end of Gen V, by the way. Okay. And this is the interconnectivity of the two shows, right? With with the virus that wipes out the soups. We're great. So episode one mostly takes place in the concentration camp with Huey, Frenchie, and Milk. And it's interesting to see how Huey's gotten kind of brawling, being in, jail for a year. It's quite fascinating where we're going with this. And we see them, they've constantly been protecting each other. They're secretly trying to lead a resistance within the internment camp. Um, Starlight has gotten a lot better control of her power. She can fly longer distance than she ever could before, and also control just the specks of electricity. Kimiko can speak because after a year of watching TikTok videos, she now talks like a TikTok white girl, which is fascinating. And Butcher has is beginning to assemble the team because word got out that Homelander wants to kill Huey, Milk, and Frenchie all, as a public display of, of what happens to Starlighters. And by the way, in this presidency, DEI is gone. Chapel Row and Tyler the Creator are in jail. Many fucking people have been deported. The Obamas are listening to Sage Steele. I'm not Sage Steele, God. Mother's fucking God, Mother Sage, right? Sister Sage. Scott. I totally got it mixed up. And we're seeing this whole new. By the way, the American economy is probably going fantastic. Crime is at this is a dream America as long as you don't challenge anything. But we see that Starlight managed to get the what's it called? The video out of Homelander killing everyone in the plane. And it's interesting because when the boys first came out, deepfakes and AI were not a thing yet. But now, because they are, it's just look at this. This is AI generated. There's 7 fingers there. You think I would do that? And we also see that basically became a TikTok meme with the new Gen V heroes, which is fantastic. But they spring him out of jail, and A Train. We have basically a Days of Future Past scene, if you remember what Quicksilver did. I'm very interested on how long it took to shoot that because it's very almost shot for shot similar to the Days of Future Fast Quicksilver thing, where he goes so fast that time kind of freezes to get Huey out of the way from almost the assassination of Homelander. And then we get basically the Flash versus Superman chase scene of Homelander chasing A Train everywhere. And A Train and Homelander's just as quick as A Train, and he finally kills A Train because A Train trips, goes through trees, and basically shot for shot, similar to when Thanos chokes out Loki, Homelander chokes out A Train. Also, we see that Vice President Ashley is married to a Black Jesus pastor soup. That is happening. Now in episode 2, now that everyone's out, they have the virus. Oh, by the way, Homelander says, I know about the virus. I know about everything that happened in the Godokin camp. You think I haven't known? I knew about the little resistance that was happening here. We've just been entertaining you people, and it's time to take you guys off the board. But that's what happens. So now, episode 2, Homelander unfreezes Soldier Boy. And, he shows the new dichotomy of America, the new president, the new vice president, how everything's working. He's like, we have to go after Bu Butcher because he has powers now, just like us. And he's probably one of the strongest soups, and you're the best tracker. If you get him, all is forgiven. Meanwhile, Huey and the gang have the virus, and they are going to test it out on the new Gen V hero resistance team. It's a rock man that every time he comes lava, he grows. A crow chick, some nerdy Zoomer guy, and this. So they have to come up with a plan, and they're like, we want to disperse the virus, but we also make sure that Annie, Kimiko, and Butch don't get killed from it yet. So they're like, we have to have the seals ready, make sure they're nowhere near it. So they go plan to go retrieve the virus. Soldier Boy throws his Captain America shield at the car, and Soldier Boy and Butch fight. And Soldier Boy follows Huey in. Well, Huey gets caught by the flying guy, and he stops him. And trying to remember the order of things happen. Annie catches Huey while he's falling from the sky. Huey gets into the house that is hiding the rock lava cum man and a bunch of the other soups. Mother's Milk accidentally sees the Indian superhero chick, and she's really innocent. She's not bad. She's just a TikTok girl. She doesn't really believe in, Homelander's mission. You feel sorry because it's the same age as his daughter, so he lets her go with the crows because, not all soups are bad, and this is the whole thing, but everyone else is trapped. Soldier Boy comes in, and he almost kills Huey, but we see the other soup begins to cough up blood. And he's like, what the fuck is happening? Because he knew about the virus, but he didn't believe the virus was real. And then the rock guy laughs. He says, haha. And then his head implodes and he dies. And then Homelander gets these not Homelander, Soldier Boy gets all these warts all over him. And they're like, oh my God, it worked. They even killed Homelander, and they recorded the video to show that, everything happened. But so they stay away from everybody because they assume that the humans are infected. So they're like, okay, we got to go. They get tested that they're perfectly fine. We also learn that Vice President Ashley has a Harry Potter situation where her original human half head is in the back of her, like being the voice of wisdom and a bunch of other shit. Also, Chris Haynes is in an episode of The Boys for whatever reason. I don't know why President Homelander didn't kill him from multiple sclerosis now. So that happened. The episode ends with Homelander upset because he sees that Soldier Boy is dead, but we see Soldier Boy wakes up from the coffin bag, still inside. So now we don't know if Soldier Boy is a walking, living, breathing of the infection, because is the infection in him? Is he able to infect others? Is his body fighting the infection if you're a certain level of soup? Because remember, Soldier Boy and Homelander, they were banned. I believe what the hell the chick from Gen V, Marie and Godokin were all created from a different version of Gen V. So the virus may not work on them like everyone else because they're from this original super strain of the virus. But that's how we see. So we don't know if Soldier Boy is still infected. By the way, I have access to all the episodes because they're on the Emmy app. Same with Daredevil. I am not going ahead. I've only watched the 4 episodes of Daredevil. I know what happens in the rest of Daredevil for reasons I cannot say, but I will just say you will enjoy next week if for reasons on episode 5. But I've not watched ahead on The Boys. I've not started the Euphoria because the Euphoria episodes are also up on the Emmy app. And this seems great. Daredevil and The Boys are both fucking equally fantastic. We're all friends here. They're being great. This is what we gotta do. Okay?